case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
In 1923, the Montana Supreme Court heard the case of Guerin v. Sunburst Oil and Gas Company, a case that centered on the principle that legally recorded documents should provide notice of property interests to subsequent buyers, even if not disclosed during the transaction. The dispute began in 1921 when Mrs. Thornton leased her land for oil and gas exploration to Gordon Campbell, who later sold the lease to Sunburst Oil and Gas Company. In 1922, Mrs. Thornton sold her land to Mrs. Guerin without disclosing the lease. When Sunburst began exploration, Mrs. Guerin sued to halt their operations. The primary question at hand was whether Mrs. Guerin had been informed of the lease prior to purchasing the land, and if the lease had been properly recorded. Additionally, the court considered whether Mrs. Guerin conducted a thorough search of property records before buying the land. Ultimately, the Montana Supreme Court upheld the previous judgment, concluding that Mrs. Guerin could not stop Sunburst's exploration due to her own lack of care in investigating the property's legal encumbrances. As a result, Sunburst Oil and Gas Company's operations were deemed lawful.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.